Okay team, here we are looking at the Level 1 CAT for Mathematics in 2011, and just draw your attention to two things here. Calculators may not be used and we must show all working, so just be aware of that when you're looking at these. So let's get straight into it, and our first question here we have is 2x, or 2 bracket x minus 7 equals 20. I'm going to jump straight in here by dividing both sides by 2, and that cancels out our 2 at the front of the brackets. And so we're left with x minus 7 equals, and then 20 divided by 2 is 10. Adding 7 to both sides so that our 7's eliminate, we're left with x equals 17, and that's our answer. I've just written it over here as well, so we can look at another way of solving it. So one way we can do that is first expand our bracket, so I've got 2x minus 14 equals 20, and then we can add 14 to both sides. And so the 14's eliminate, we're left with 2x equals 34. And next step is to divide both sides by 2, so 2's cancel out, and that gives us x equals 17. So we notice that both of those answers give us the same result, and either way of working is fine in terms of achievement and excellence. But yeah, alright, let's go into our next question. So we've got x on both sides and numbers on both sides. I'm going to start here by adding 8 to both sides. So 8's eliminated, and we're left with 3x equals 5x plus 12, because 4 plus 8 is 12. Now subtract 5x from both sides, and the reason for that is to eliminate my x's from one side and only have them on one side. So 3x minus 5x gives me 2x, and on the other side I have 12. So my last step here is to get rid of that negative 2x, so I'm going to divide both sides by 2, but I have to be a bit careful because I've got that negative, so I need to make sure that I divide both sides by negative 2 so that my 2's and my negatives cancel out, and I'm just left with positive x. And so 12 divided by 2 is 6, so 12 divided by negative 2 is going to be negative 6. Okay, question C, we've got that divide by 4 there, so I'm going to multiply both sides by 4, and that cancels out our divide by 4, so we're left with 2 minus 5x equals 3 times 4, which is 12. Now I'm going to get rid of that 2 off that side by subtracting it, so that 2 adds to 0, and we've got negative 5x equals 10. So now I want to get x by itself, so I divide both sides by 5, but once again you have to be careful to divide by negative 5, so that my 5's and my negatives cancel out, and I'm left with x equals, and 10 divided by 5 is 2, so 10 divided by negative 5 is going to be negative 2. Alright, question 2 is basically the same as question 1, except we've got this inequality sign here instead of equals. These are solved more or less the same way as an equals equation, except for one rule that we have to observe, and I'll show you that when we get there. So we'll start by times on both sides by 4, like we did before. So I've got 2 minus 5x is greater than 12, and we'll subtract 2 from both sides again, so our 2's cancel out, and we're left with negative 5x is greater than 10. And the only thing that I'll highlight here is that when we're dividing by a negative number, we have to make sure that we swap that sign around the other way. So our 5's and our negatives cancel out, all we're left with is x, and on the other side we're going to have negative 2. So this reads that x must be smaller than negative 2, and that's our solution for that question. Okay, let's keep on running through here, and we've got an exponents question here, and we'll start on the outside and work our way in. So we want to get rid of the squared first, and the way we get rid of a squared is to take a square root. So keep in mind that we don't have a calculator here. That means that, well, first of all, the squared and the square root cancels out, so we're just left with x to the power of 3. And working out the square root of 64, well, look, 10 times 10 is 100, so we know it's got to be less than 10. 5 times 5 is 25, so it's got to be bigger than 5. And it's really, if you're not sure what it is straight up, it's just a matter of elimination. And eventually if you go through 5 through to 10, you work out that 8 times 8 is 64, and so that's the square root. Okay, once we've undone that square root, we want to undo that cube root, and so the way that we undo a cube root is by taking a cube, or sorry, the way we undo a cube power is taking a cube root. So we're going to take a cube root of both sides, and that leaves us just with x on that side, and then we've got to think, well, what number times itself 3 times is 8. Once again, no calculator, so we're probably pretty safe to assume it's going to be an integer here. 1 cubed is 1, 2 cubed means, so 2 cubed means 2 times 2 times 2, while 2 times 2 is 4, so we've got 4 times 2, and 4 times 2 is 8, so 2 cubed is 8, so the cube root of 8 is 2. Alright, so you've got to develop some strategies around there for solving these things. Alright, a milk drink costs $1.50 more than a fruit drink. 5 fruit drinks cost 5 fruit drinks and 4 milk drinks cost a total of $24. What is the cost of milk drink? Now I'm just going to scroll down here just to get a sense of what this question is. Because it's the last question here, it's just a little bit of a hint that we may have to think about it a bit more deeply. Could be a merit or excellence level question. So let's just define our variables first. So I'm going to say x is the cost of a fruit drink, and I'm going to say that y is the cost of a milk drink. The reason why I'm doing this is so that I'm clearly stating what x and y are, so that I can make up an equation here. So a milk drink costs $1.50 more than a fruit drink. So what that is saying is that y is equal to the cost of a fruit drink plus $1.50. Okay, so it's $1.50 more. I'm only writing 1.5 instead of 1.50 because I don't need to write the O part. Alright, the next bit is saying that 5 fruit drinks and 4 milk drinks costs a total of $24. So 5 fruit drinks, so 5 times the cost of a fruit drink, plus 4 times the cost of a milk drink, gives us a total of $24. This is what we call a simultaneous equation, and we can have a number of methods to solve it, but I think the easiest way to go about this one is substitution. So I'm going to take what y is equal to, and I'm going to put it into there instead of y, and so that will give me another equation altogether. So I'm going to have 5x because I haven't touched that, and then I'm going to have 4y, but instead of y I'm going to write x plus 1.5. Important that we use brackets here because y includes x and it includes 1.5, and all of that's equal to 24. So now I've just got one equation, this whole thing here, with only x's in it, so we should be able to solve it now. So let's focus on that. So we're going to have 5x plus, and we need to expand our brackets here. So we've got 4 times x and 4 times 1.5. So 4 times x is just 4x. And 4 times 1.5, well, I hope you can work that out in your head. That comes out as 6. And that's all equal to 24. So collecting our like terms here, we've got 9x and then plus 6 equals 24. Subtracting both sides, 6 from both sides, we've got 9x equals 18. Dividing both sides by 9, so 9's cancel out, x equals 2. So just remembering that x is the cost of a fruit drink, let's check what the question was actually asking. It's asking what is the cost of a milk drink. So we've said that x equals $2, and that's fruit. And so y is going to equal 2 plus 1.5, so y equals $3.50. And the question's been asked in words, so I think it's good practice here to answer it in words. So saying y equals $3.50 is not very helpful, so we'll write a sentence about what we found out. So 1 milk drink costs $3.50. Okay, and that's question 1 from the 2011 CAT, the first variant. And yeah, I really suggest that with each of these you have a go, and if you get stuck, that's really what this video